A very good day to you, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Renata Singh, and welcome to Madam Fixitt right here on WESN. As always, the show is interactive, so you can reach us via those numbers listed on the screen, or you can send us a text message at 3669376. Some persons would have reached out to us with several issues that we're about to address. We actually have the chairman of the Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation on the line with us this morning. Good day, Mr. Robinson. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Ms. Singh, and good day to all the listeners of the network throughout the world.
Thank you so very much for your time and agreeing to speak with us this morning. Now, where I want to start off is someone would have reached out to us with regards to some open manholes in actually the Eastern Main Road, Mount Hope, just outside the NH apartment buildings. I'm not sure if you could give us some feedback with regards to that.
So we would have been focused on repairing and replacing manholes that were closest to schools when they lead up to the reopening of schools. Of course, the country is aware of the challenges we faced with the manhole covers as a result of the trade of recyclable metals. Thankfully, we have had our intervention by the government. So right now, we expect the instances of theft to be reduced, and we continue to replace the manhole covers. I would say within the next 2 weeks to a month, we should have those manhole covers replaced by Toronto, because of course resource availability and allocation is always a challenge, but we're working on replacing manhole covers surely region.
One of the things that I just want to touch on really quickly, I think, lots of persons would call us here on the show with several issues, but one of the things that they don't seem to understand, and I could understand the frustration, but at the same point in time, I also understand at the corporation level, there's a process to which things must follow. And sometimes it takes a little while for things to get done. Could you shed some light in terms of just the process behind getting simple things like the manholes replaced, the covers?
Well, if we do have them, we have to procure them, and that takes some time, but we have to get better, we just have to get better. There are things that we do very well, and we have to get we have to get better. It's important that we are able to respond to the needs of the citizens faster than we currently are. And the reform is addressing those things, and we have the secondary roads improvement company that's going to deal with these things. So we just have to get better. There is a process, but people's needs are also important.
Yes.
And I want to shed light on this also. While resources would have been less available over the past 2 years, one of the things that we made sure to have available is people's salaries to keep them employed. Because it's important that we also put that in perspective, and I will just give some numbers very quickly.
Sure.
My budget is around between 160 to 200 million annually for the past 10 years. Of that money that I have, 111 million is dedicated to salaries. And 40 to 60 million is dedicated to garbage collection and cleanup exercise during the Christmas and Diwali and all those things. So it's a very limited budget that we operate with, and hopefully the reform will help address some of those concerns. But a lack of resources is never an excuse, but it's important for us all to have a perspective.
I absolutely love the way that you put that. A lack of resources it's never an excuse. It's something different than I've heard from other persons that I've had on here on the show. It's very refreshing, actually.
Yeah, we have to find a way now. So
yes,
if I don't have the money, then I have to find a way. So if I can't buy manhole covers to replace, then we'll use wood and cut it and put it up. Then so we have to find a way now.
Yes.
Because I had to deal with something very early in my term, which is the difference between being good at your job and doing a good job. You can be the best surgeon, but if you don't have tools, then you wouldn't do a good job. So you're good at your job, but you're not doing a good job. And I needed to find a way to deal with that. So as the present mode that we're in, as a council and as a corporation, is let us find a way to do it. Let us not continue to tell people we can't do it. Let us just find a way now. And I mean, it's just to communicate for the British to understand that we hear you. Like, I'm not deaf to these issues now. And
I think that sometimes is a much needed comfort. Sometimes that's all people need. I mean, yes, to address the issues, but to also know that, hey, you're there.
Yes, and the second matter that you had raised, which is the road in, I think, the Centenary Street extension,
Yes.
which is, I think, south of the highway. So I'll just put some perspective again on this. That is in the constituency of St. Augustine. And for some political context, that constituency is a UNC constituency. However, in the last financial year, I would have dedicated twice times the amount of money to the board councillors in that constituency, which would have been Jalen Rupnarine and Richard Rampersad. All of these are facts, because around UWE, the potholes were ridiculous, so we'd have done some patching around there. And then Councillor Richard Rampersad has a community in his electoral district called Oropun, which the boulevard there wasn't paved for a number of years, so we'd have done some spot paving on Oropun Boulevard. This year, I would have spoken to the MP and asked her for some priorities. So I'm unsure if Centenary Street Extension is on the list of priorities, but I'm saying that we continue to work with all the members of Council and members of Parliament to address some of those concerns. Because oftentimes when I read the comments on my post, people say that I'm not fixing these areas because it is UNC now, which is furthest from the truth. I've allocated more money to those districts than any single PNN district that exists. Even my own constituency, because of it is QRAP now, so that is QRAP and UWE in St. Augustine, and so it's where it is now. We have placed additional focus there. So I can't recall if Centenary Street is on our DP list now, but I know that I have a priority list from the Member of Parliament and we're working on doing it. So please, I mean, I often hear the statement that, you know, when the PNM is stifling it. It is not true now. Like, there is no truth to it. So,
because
you know,
that's, I mean, the caller had alluded to that.
I didn't even hear the caller, but I can tell you. So, I didn't even hear the councillor, but I'm saying, to take my word for it, the councillors there, Jalen Rupnarine and Richard Rampersad, they both got, each councillor was allocated 250,000 for road work last financial year. They both got an additional 250,000. That's just the fact now. And I mean, we can't pave everywhere, but it's to also understand that.
But I'm glad you're shedding light, because, I mean, citizens would not have information like this. And of course, they would go away thinking what they want to think sometimes. So I'm glad that you were able to shed some light with regards to the funding aspect of it, because that's when we contact councillors, sometimes that's the first thing they will tell you. And while I understand the challenge, I mean, you're also indicating that allocations were made to these electoral districts.
So and what I'm saying is we're fine. So again, let's present some additional numbers. The average corporation has about 600 streets. Average. I have 3,000 streets. The allocations are roughly the same. So if I have to pave my 3,000 streets, it will take me a bit longer than, let us just say, Fixitt and Chaguanas. So Fixitt and Chaguanas has maybe 80,000 burgesses. I have 250,000. So it is a much larger situation, and because of our size, burgesses might feel in the same community that we're not paying attention to them, but this is not so. We actually making the steps necessary. They either get the same allocation as everybody else or more. None of these councillors or areas have ever gotten less allocation than my 10-year share one. I can't speak to anybody else that bad before me. I can tell you about my innings, which is roughly 33 months old. Every time I step up the bat, I put the same focus on the communities that are with the PNM and support the PNM, the constituencies that don't. Because my job is to serve people.
Yeah.
We have a day for politics, which is election day. Other than that, we serve people. And I mean, I challenge anybody to dispute any of this information that I have.
Definitely. Thank you so very much, Mr. Robinson, for shedding some, giving us some much needed insight in terms of just the general runnings, as well as the allocations to some of these areas and issues that we would have spoken of. I hope that your words would have been some sort of comfort to the callers that would have called us as well with these issues.
And Renata, before I leave, I will check the list and see what projects are going to be done in those areas.
No problem.
But at least Burgesses can know that we actually doing things in these communities, and so that we can present some additional information. I will try to send you the information, so let's send me like a message, Instagram or a text, and I'll forward it to you this evening.
No problem. Thank you so very much, Mr. Robinson. Thanks so much for your time.
Have a good day.
You as well. Take care. All right, so that was Mr. Robinson, the chairman of the Tuna-Piako Regional Corporation, giving us some feedback with regards to some of the issues that you guys would have called in. Again, the number you can reach us at are listed on the screen, as well as you can send us a text message at 366-9376. We'll be right back.
AM Prime on WESN, the only place from 6 to 7:30 a.m. where you can get the most analytical and thorough interviews and regional reports.
The Barbados Labour Party, led by the Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley, once again able to achieve a clean sweep in yesterday's general election.
I think a lot of people have underestimated the power of Tobago nationalism.
The government is afraid to say it. I, Martin George, I am saying it this morning on your show, Andy. There will be no carnival before Ash Wednesday.
Grab a cup of coffee and start your day right watching AM Prime with Andy Johnson weekdays from 6 a.m. Only on your content capital, WESN.
What's the best way to grab the attention of viewers?
Please exercise more patience. You have to be kidding me.
Doing what we do best.
I'll say at the very least it's a conspiracy of laziness against the people.
Join me, Keaton Shaw.
And me, Sean Michael Small, for Talking Point.
Weekdays from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
We go in-depth on the trending issues and engage the most controversial newsmakers
as we get them to account to the people for their actions.
You can't go to the government with nothing. You can't go to cabinet with an empty hand, with a wish.
I'm glad that we're having this a sober, mature discussion.
In the present situation, I expect a continuation of the chaos.
Join us for the discussion, Mondays to Fridays,
only on WESN,
the content capital.
Is it politics? What is it? Is it that nobody cares about sports?
The kind of support that sport used to get in the past is no longer here.
The thing is, taking a knee doesn't mean that that's the only thing you're doing now, Andy.
Right.
Taking a knee along with other stuff.
Samantha, what are you looking forward to when you return home to Trinidad and Tobago after winning the title?
Thank you very much for speaking it into existence.
Is there no pressure on Nicholas Ball?
It makes me more motivated to work hard and to go out there and rep the white and black.
Why are we sending a team to the Winter Olympics?
There are a number of Trinbagonians who are in the diaspora and have grown up in winter sport. It's an opportunity that the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee will not close the door.
I also believe in the players that we have. Once you can motivate the players, you can get the best out of them.
Welcome back to Madam Fixitt. Again, those numbers you can reach us at are listed on the screen, or you can send us a text message at 366-9376. We got a guest on the line, Councillor of Val St. Joseph, Miss Seema Augustine. Good day, Miss Augustine. How are you doing?
Hi, good day. I'm fine.
Thanks so much for joining us, taking the time to speak with us this morning.
Not a problem. My pleasure.
All right. So one of the things I wanted to start off with is I know several persons would have indicated to us that, you know, in Trinidad and Tobago, there are issues all around. I want to highlight really briefly some of the issues within your electoral district, as well as we could probably chat a little bit later on about some of the projects even that you have been working on in your electoral district.
Sure, not a problem.
So let's start off with the issues. What are some of the main issues within your district?
Well, some of the main issues I'll start off with the condition of the roads. Yeah, there's a lot of road repair, road rehabilitation needed in my district. Also, drain-wise, there are a lot of earthen drains, and I know my my electoral district, part of it is prone to flooding.
Yes.
So I have issues with those drains as well as repairs of drains.
I noted that sometime when they had the heavy rainfall a couple of weeks ago, it had some real flooding in your area.
Yes, what happened is that the communities in my area now, for example, Valsain South, their water flows through Bamboo 2. And then there's Real Spring, which is part of Valsain South as well, but we know it as Real Spring, where it used to be the back of Kedo now. So their water flows through a drain in Nuge, Real Spring Nuge, to the Wyabal River. Now that section is an open drain that flows into the river. And the river and the drain is basically the same level. So whenever the water in the river reaches the level of the drain, that now Real Spring is lower than Nuge. So the water trickles down there and floods Springland, Spring Drive. Sometimes days the water takes to go down once the river level doesn't drop.
Days?
Yes, days. They were marooned for like 3 or 4 days recently, about 2 months ago or a month ago.
That was in August. I saw it on your social media.
Yes.
I mean, this is 2022. Nobody should be marooned due to flooding for days.
We have had many visits with Ministry of Works. I know a pump system is very costly, but at least if they could put probably a floodgate, like we have one in Bamboo, number 3 Northern Avenue, which Mr. Ken Dalchan designed, whereas the water could leave, but it locks, so the water from the river would not back into the drain when the river reaches that level. It's very costly. I'm hoping that Ministry of Works, we have done several visits along with the MP as well. When she became MP in 2020, I did visits prior to that, since I became councillor and I was made aware.
So 2 years ago?
Well, prior to 2 years ago, I made visits as well, because I became the councillor in 2016, and that's when I was informed of this by the residents, and we went to actually locate the drains and see where the water flows and then realize what the problem was.
Did they indicate when they're going to look into fixing this?
No, they did not. They just did visit. The engineer did visits as well with the MP and myself, and to date we haven't really heard anything.
On average, how many residents are affected on average when it floods like this?
Let me say households. It could be about 30 households. So maybe
that's 30 households.
Close to 90 persons. But remember, when that's just when the water level is like about 2 to 3 feet high. But there have been cases where that water could reach 4 to 5, 6 feet in height as well. So the more rain falls, luckily thank God that those days the rain didn't fall, even though the rivers weren't flowing. Because if they had more rainfalls, it would have gotten higher. And they are, well, in 2018 they were marooned in there for a number of days, and the water was very high. It's probably over 4 feet.
Wow. I mean, I understand these things are costly to repair, but when you're hearing the amount of persons that are affected, one, and two, the fact that this issue has been in existence for many, many years.
Yes.
I have no words. I have no words. I mean, something needs to be done, because I saw the photos, I saw the video footage as well. I believe you would have posted stuff on your social media.
Yes. And that was just that particular time the water wasn't that high, you know?
Yeah, right.
It could get higher than that.
Right. And I mean, with the kind of rainfall that we're having now, I mean, we shouldn't have to be waiting. I hope by this time next year, next time rainy season comes around, we're not having the same conversation.
I hope so too.
I don't know, the Ministry of Works, they need to act to do something, or at least give some sort of time frame, you know, that people can look forward to, you know, when these issues are going to be fixed. But besides drainage issues and flood issues, are there any other issues within your electoral district that you'd like to highlight?
Yes, I would have issues. There are different communities within my district, and there are different issues in the communities. So we would have communities with issues of poverty, unemployment, you know, that sort of thing, where we would have in the entire country. So different communities in my electoral district have different issues and problems that I try my best. We don't really get any kind of funding as per se. We get small DPs every year, which could do probably 60 meters of drains, 60 meters of road. So other than that, we have to depend on whatever funding is available through the corporation, reach out to Ministry of Works, however we could get it done. But more like different communities, I said, have different issues.
And back to the road issues, though, any plan to fix some of these roads in the near future?
Well, I have some upcoming DPs. I have started to try to do sectional paving so that I could spread it more, so that, because, if you're getting 60 meters of a road, that's a very short road, and it may not be the entire street that needs fixing, So I try to do it sectional paving so that at least I could target the bad areas in the streets and the main areas,
I got you.
I'm hoping to get some funding from TPRC so we can start back patching, because patching is an issue material-wise.
Patching, I mean, you're working with whatever resources you have, but honestly, there's sometimes I see, the corporation patching, and this is not just any specific location, and just generally, when they do their little patch work, when the rain falls 2-3 times, it's back to square one.
Because half of the time they would have only material, even water, they would have just the metal, and they don't have anything to seal it. So once you don't seal it with the cold mix or the hot mix, it will run off with the water after a period of time. So that's one of the basic challenges we have. Water contributes a lot to that as well. I mean, I'm not glad that they're fixing the leaks, but at the same time...
It's the truth, right? It is the truth. I mean, I have persons calling me here on the show all the time complaining about leaks. They complain about water digging up the road.
I have a very good relationship with the water reps within my district.
Yeah.
So there are different reps within the area. I mean, they have challenges too, So we try to work hand in hand. Sometimes if the water rep does a leak in a certain area, he'd reach out to me and say, well, Councillor, if you all have any kind of material, just in the meantime, until they get materials. And I would do so vice versa, reach out to them as well.
I like that. But I like to see that sort of relationship. There's a saying, one hand don't clap.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And
we can work together.
They are very efficient, and they always work hand in hand with me. I could reach out to them, call them any hour, and they would answer the call.
That's really good to, refreshing to hear. I'm glad that you guys are working together for the community. But let's shift a little bit of focus from the issues to, I don't know, some of the projects maybe you've been working on within the district.
Well, I have started to try to do some drains where in Bamboo 2 now, basically, Bamboo 2, all the main drains in Bamboo 2 are earthen drains. Now, with earthen drains, you need machinery to clear those drains. And most of those drains run between houses. So it's a challenge. Now, apart from Bamboo 2 water, Valsine South water also flows through Bamboo 2. So then there's an issue there, because when there's a backup, it will flood all the way. Sometimes in the streets in Valsine South, you would get flooding for like a couple of hours before the water could actually run off.
Okay, all right. So
I have started trying to use my DPs to try to box the drains. Like I did one particular area, I completed what we call a catchment area on Mohan Street. So that is an area where the water flows directly into the Wyabal River. But once the river reaches that level, that gate has to close. Now that gate is also leaking since 2017 and hasn't been fixed yet. So even though the gate is closed, the water still flows out into the drain. And there's a catchment area where it has to follow the path to go to the pump in order to be pumped out into the river, or else the village will flood. So I have actually completed that catchment area so that at least the water, once it reaches that catchment area, it has a free flow to go to the other main drains, but there's still more work to be done. And as I told you, it's small DPs, so it takes a while.
Yeah. No problem. Thank you so much, Councillor, for your time and shedding some light in terms of the projects that you're working on in the Valsine St. Joseph area. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, see, that was the Councillor of Valsine St. Joseph, Ms. Seema Ramsaran Augustine. She was just giving us some insight in terms of what's been going on in her electoral district. But it's also almost time for us to wrap up the show. Let me remind you of the number that you can reach us at, 366-9376. You can send us WhatsApps. You can send in your photos and videos, etc., of whatever issues you're facing. We'll be able to highlight it here on the show. I actually encourage you to do so. Or you can email it to wesnfixitt@gmail.com. Again, the number 366-9376. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Chantwell Vibes, a musical tribute to Andre Tanker, Saturday, September 24th, 2022, Central Bank Auditorium. Showtime, 7:30 p.m. Featuring Three Canal, Mavis John, Ataclan, Empress Ajay, Stacy Sobers, and panist Natasha Joseph. Tickets, $300. Available at Crosby's Music Center, St. James. Extra Foods, Rima, Grand Bazaar, and Endeavour. Online at Island E-Tickets. Committee members at 678-2843 or 482-3111. Central Bank box office on the day of the event. Mart's Liquor Palace, Diego Martin Main Road, La Puerta. A musical tribute to Andre Tanker. Saturday, September 24th, 2020.